My name is Joshua Collins. I'm 17, a junior in high school, and just an ordinary teenager, navigating the typical ups and downs of adolescence. But there's something extraordinary about my journey, something that sets my story apart. It's about how I met the love of my life, Emma Carter, through the power of manifestation, a method taught by Neville Goddard. It all started during my sophomore year. Emma Carter was the kind of girl everyone noticed. She had a quiet confidence about her, a kindness that radiated through her every action. Her laughter was infectious, and she had the ability to light up a room just by walking into it. I admired her from a distance, feeling my heart race every time she passed by me in the hallways. At first, I thought my feelings for Emma were just a typical high school crush, something that would eventually fade away. But the more I saw her, the stronger my feelings grew. I couldn't shake the thought of her, and it became clear to me that I wanted more than just to admire her from afar. I wanted to be with her, to share my life with her. But there was one problem. I had no idea how to make that happen. I was just another face in the crowd, and Emma seemed so out of reach. She was popular, always surrounded by friends, while I was more of a quiet, reserved guy who blended into the background. The idea of approaching her and striking up a conversation was terrifying. I was afraid of rejection, of making a fool of myself. It seemed impossible that someone like Emma would ever notice someone like me. One evening, while scrolling through videos online, I stumbled upon a lecture by Neville Goddard. I had never heard of him before, but something about the title caught my eye: The Power of Imagination and Manifestation. Intrigued, I clicked on the video and began to listen. Neville Goddard spoke with a calm, authoritative voice. He talked about the power of imagination, about how we can create our reality through our thoughts and beliefs. He explained that if we can see it in our mind, we can hold it in our hands. He emphasized the importance of living in the end, of imagining our desires as already fulfilled. The concept was fascinating, and it resonated with me on a deep level. Could it be possible, I wondered, to manifest a relationship with Emma? Could I use the power of my mind to turn my dreams into reality? The idea seemed both exciting and daunting, but I decided it was worth a try. I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. That night, I began my journey into the world of manifestation. I found a quiet place in my room, away from the distractions of the outside world, and closed my eyes. I took a few deep breaths, calming my mind and focusing my thoughts. I pictured Emma in my mind's eye, imagining her smiling at me, laughing with me, and holding my hand. I tried to make the vision as vivid and real as possible. I imagined the sound of her voice, the feel of her hand in mine, the warmth of her smile. I pictured us walking together, talking, sharing our hopes and dreams. I saw us studying together, eating lunch together, and just enjoying each other's company. I imagined how happy and content I would feel, how grateful I would be to have her in my life. As I visualized these scenes, I tried to feel the emotions that would come with them. I let myself feel the joy, the love, the excitement. I let those feelings wash over me, filling my heart and mind. It was an incredibly powerful experience, and for a moment, it felt as though my dreams were already real. I practiced this visualization every night before going to bed. It became a nightly ritual, a time for me to connect with my deepest desires and to feel the emotions of my dreams coming true. I also started to incorporate affirmations into my daily routine. I would tell myself, Emma and I are together. We are happy and in love. She loves me as much as I love her. I repeated these affirmations whenever I had a moment to myself, letting them sink into my subconscious mind. The first few weeks passed without any noticeable changes, but I didn't let that discourage me. I continued with my practice, trusting in the process and believing in the power of manifestation. I reminded myself of Neville Goddard's teachings, of the importance of persistence and faith. Then, one day, something remarkable happened. It was a typical Monday morning, and I was standing by my locker, gathering my books for the first class of the day. As I closed the locker door, I saw Emma walking down the hallway towards me. My heart started to race, and I felt the familiar mix of excitement and nerves. But this time, something was different. As she walked past me, she glanced in my direction and smiled. It was a small, fleeting smile, but it was enough to make my heart soar. She noticed me. For the first time, she actually saw me. Encouraged by this small but significant sign, I decided to take a leap of faith. During lunch break, I gathered all my courage and approached her table. She was sitting with a few friends, chatting and laughing. I took a deep breath and walked over, my heart pounding in my chest. "Hi, Emma," I said, my voice trembling slightly. She looked up at me, her eyes wide with surprise. "Oh, hi, Joshua," she replied, her smile warm and inviting. I could hardly believe she knew my name. "I was wondering if you'd like to study together sometime," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I've heard you're really good at math, and I could use some help." She looked thoughtful for a moment, then nodded. "Sure, I'd love to help. How about we meet in the library after school tomorrow?" I agreed, my heart pounding with excitement and disbelief. As I walked away, I felt a surge of joy and gratitude. It was happening. My dreams were starting to come true. The next day, I arrived at the library early, my heart racing with anticipation. I found a quiet corner and set up my books, trying to calm my nerves. When Emma arrived, she greeted me with a warm smile, and we settled into a comfortable rhythm, discussing math problems and sharing stories about our lives. As the weeks passed, our study sessions became a regular thing. We got to know each other better, sharing our hopes and dreams, our fears and insecurities. I discovered that Emma was not just beautiful on the outside, but also kind, intelligent, and funny. She had a way of making me feel comfortable and valued, and I cherished every moment we spent together. One evening, as we were packing up our books, Emma turned to me and said, "You know, Joshua, I'm really glad we started studying together. I've enjoyed getting to know you." Her words filled me with warmth and happiness. "I've enjoyed it too, Emma," I replied, smiling at her. Our friendship continued to grow, and with it, my feelings for her deepened. I continued to practice my visualizations and affirmations, believing in the power of manifestation. I focused on the feelings of love and gratitude, letting them guide my actions and interactions with Emma. Then, one day, everything changed. It was a Friday evening, and we had just finished another study session. As we walked out of the library, the sky was painted with the colors of the setting sun, casting a warm glow over everything. "Hey, Joshua," Emma said, her voice soft and hesitant. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course," I replied, curious and slightly anxious. "Do you ever think about the future?" she asked, her eyes searching mine. "About what you want and who you want to be with?" Her question took me by surprise, but I could feel my heart pounding with anticipation. "Yes, I do," I said, my voice steady. "And I know that I want to be with someone who makes me feel happy and loved, someone who understands me." She looked down, her cheeks flushing slightly. "I feel the same way," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "And I think that someone might be you." My heart felt like it was going to burst with joy. "Emma," I said, taking her hand in mine, "I've felt that way about you for a long time. I didn't know if you felt the same, but I've always hoped." She smiled, her eyes shining with happiness. "I'm glad to hear that, Joshua," she said softly, "because I want to be with you too." In that moment, it felt like all the pieces of my life had fallen into place. The months of visualizing, affirming, and believing had led me to this incredible moment. Emma and I were together, and it felt like the most natural thing in the world. As our relationship blossomed, I continued to practice the principles of manifestation. I focused on gratitude, appreciating every moment we shared together. I visualized our future, imagining us growing together, supporting each other's dreams, and building a life filled with love and happiness. Emma and I faced challenges along the way, as any couple does. We had our disagreements and misunderstandings, but we always worked through them, guided by the love and respect we had for each other. The principles I had learned from Neville Goddard helped me navigate these challenges, reminding me to stay focused on the positive and to believe in the strength of our bond. One of the most significant challenges came during our senior year. With college applications and future plans looming over us, the stress and uncertainty began to take a toll on our relationship. Emma had always been an overachiever, and she was determined to get into her dream school, a prestigious university on the East Coast. I, on the other hand, was still figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. The pressure of these big decisions created tension between us. One evening, after a particularly stressful week of exams and application essays, we met at our favorite spot in the park. It was a quiet, secluded area by the lake, a place where we often went to talk and relax. Emma looked tired, her usually bright eyes dull with worry. "I'm so scared, Joshua," she admitted, her voice trembling. "What if I don't get in? What if we end up at different schools? I don't want to lose what we have." I took her hands in mine, feeling the weight of her anxiety. "Emma, no matter what happens, we'll find a way to make it work. We've come this far, and I believe in us. We just need to stay positive and trust that things will work out." She nodded, but I could see the doubt in her eyes. It was then that I realized I needed to help her see the power of manifestation, the way it had changed my life. "Remember when I told you about Neville Goddard's teachings?" I asked. "About how I manifested our relationship?" "Yes," she replied, her interest piqued. "I always found that fascinating." "Well, we can use those same principles to manifest our future," I said, my voice filled with conviction. "We need to visualize ourselves getting into the schools we want, being happy and successful, and staying together. We have to believe it's possible and feel the emotions of already having it." Emma looked thoughtful, then slowly nodded. "Okay, let's try it," she agreed. "I trust you, Joshua. Let's do this together." We spent the next few weeks practicing our visualizations and affirmations. We would sit together in the park or in one of our rooms, closing our eyes and imagining our ideal future. We saw ourselves attending our dream schools, excelling in our studies, and finding ways to stay connected despite the distance. We focused on the feelings of joy, excitement, and love, letting those emotions guide our thoughts and actions. It wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt and fear, times when the uncertainty seemed overwhelming, but we supported each other, reminding ourselves of the power of our beliefs and the strength of our love. Slowly but surely, we began to feel more confident and optimistic about the future. As the months passed, we received our acceptance letters. Emma got into her dream school, and I was accepted into a great college closer to home, where I could pursue my passion for writing and literature. It was a bittersweet moment, knowing that we would be separated by distance, but we were determined to make it work. The summer before college was a whirlwind of emotions. We spent as much time together as possible, creating memories that would carry us through the upcoming months apart. We talked about our plans, our dreams, and our fears, always coming back to the belief that we could manifest the life we wanted. When the time came to say goodbye, it was one of the hardest moments of my life. We stood in the airport, holding each other tightly, tears streaming down our faces. "I'll miss you so much," Emma whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "I'll miss you too," I replied, my heart aching. "But we'll get through this. We've manifested so much already, and we can do it again. We'll stay connected, and we'll make this work." With one final kiss, we parted ways, each heading off to our new adventures. The first few weeks were tough, the distance and the new challenges testing our resolve. But we stayed in touch through calls, texts, and video chats, supporting each other and sharing our experiences. One night, as I sat in my dorm room, I decided to write a letter to Emma, expressing my thoughts and feelings. I poured my heart into the letter, telling her how much I loved her and how grateful I was for everything we had shared. I reminded her of our visualizations and affirmations, encouraging her to keep believing in our future. I sent the letter off and waited anxiously for her response. When it arrived a few days later, I could feel my heart pounding with anticipation. Her words were filled with love and hope, and she expressed her gratitude for my support and encouragement. She also shared her own visualizations and affirmations, telling me how they were helping her navigate the challenges of college life. As the months passed, we continued to practice our manifestation techniques, focusing on our future and the life we wanted to build together. We visited each other whenever we could, cherishing the moments we spent together and strengthening our bond. Our belief in the power of manifestation helped us through the tough times, reminding us that we had the ability to create our reality. We faced challenges with a positive mindset, knowing that our thoughts and beliefs could shape our experiences. Our love for each other grew stronger, and we became more confident in our ability to overcome any obstacle. Eventually, the time came for us to graduate and embark on the next chapter of our lives. Emma graduated with honors, ready to pursue her career in environmental science, while I completed my degree in literature, eager to start my journey as a writer. We were both excited about the future, knowing that we had the power to manifest our dreams. As we stood together on the graduation stage, surrounded by our friends and family, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude and awe. We had come so far, and it was all because of the power of our beliefs and the strength of our love. "Can you believe we made it?" Emma whispered, her eyes shining with happiness. "I can," I replied, smiling at her. "Because we believed in ourselves and each other. We manifested this moment, and we'll keep manifesting our future." She nodded, her smile widening. "Together," she said, taking my hand in hers. Together, we stepped into the future, ready to create the life we had always dreamed of. With the power of manifestation and the love we shared, we knew that anything was possible.